Hey, what's going on out there? I'm Sean Devine. Hope you all are doing well. Today I have a new tutorial where we're going to talk about harmonies. A lot of questions from artists on the channel about how to create harmonies. Some of you have a little bit more trouble than others in terms of singing and coming up with different harmonies for your vocal parts. And so I've got a really cool tool for you today, a plugin that I'm going to show you that is going to help you all out with that. And if you're a mix engineer or a producer, let's say maybe the artist sent you only one layer and you want to try to create some harmonies and some things to spice up the vocal, this is kind of a secret weapon of mine. And so I'm going to show you how to use it today. But let me go ahead and play back a little bridge here that we're going to create some harmonies with. This is by Moses Stone.
How many times do we have to fight before we finally say goodbye? The hurt I feel for us eyes inside. And how many times do we have to stay before we stop and just walk away? Don't know how much more that I can take. Think it's just too late.
All right, so let's say, for example, in this song in particular, it was sent to me with some low harmonies. So we have a couple of layers. Let me just solo the vocal here.
Many times do we have to fight before we finally...
So we have these low layers here that are supporting the main kind of high takes.
How many times do we have to fight before we finally say goodbye? The hurt I feel for us eyes inside.
So just a simple high-low harmony there. But let's just say that you didn't have these were not sent to you, and we needed to try to create some harmonies out of this and make it a little more exciting. So what I'm going to do is I am going to mute this, and we're just going to say we've got this one layer. And let me just go ahead and pan this to the center. And we're going to leave our auto tune on here. And so just that layer alone sounds like this.
Many times do we have to fight before we finally say goodbye? The hurt I feel for us eyes inside. And how many times do we have to stay before we stop and just walk away? Don't know how much more that I can take. Think it's just too late. Wherever you are.
All right, so now let's go in, and I'm going to put a plugin that some of you might not be familiar with. It's called Harmony Engine. It is by the company that makes Auto-Tune, which is Harmonies. And we're going to choose the stereo mode for this, even though we've got a mono vocal, because this thing does a really cool thing with creating stereo harmonies here. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And you also want to make sure that you're sending to a stereo aux track, which I am in this case, so that we pick up all those stereo effects that we're going to create here. So let's talk a little bit about Harmony Engine. It looks kind of like Auto-Tune, but it does something very, very cool. So what we need to do first with this is look up here in this harmony control, and we can actually do what's called a fixed interval for our harmony source, and we can set these intervals manually. So that's a very cool way to do it, but just for the sake of ease and time, you can do what's called a scale interval. And so knowing that we need to set this particular vocal to D major, I'm going to do that, and then it's going to give us these intervals suggested here and also some panning. So we go down here, and this first channel is your input. So if I just solo this, then this is going to be just our dry vocal.
Many times do we have to fight before we finally say goodbye? The hurt I feel for us eyes inside.
We have these 4 channels that we can create harmonies with. And the way to do that is we have our intervals up here, and this is just a way of pitching your vocal. So this first one, let's bring down all of the others, and we'll just deal with them one by one. So I'm also going to center all of these for now. We're going to do some manual panning with them in a minute, get a cool stereo spread with it. Let's go up here and adjust this first harmony. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to solo the aux.
Many times do we have to fight before we finally say goodbye? The hurt I feel for us eyes inside.
So then we've got a 5th. So let's bring that up.
Many times do we have to fight before we finally say goodbye? The hurt I feel for us eyes inside.
And then we've got a 3rd.
Many times do we have to fight before we finally say goodbye? The hurt I feel for us eyes inside.
And then we've got I believe this is a lower 8th. Yeah.
Many times do we have to fight before we finally say goodbye? I heard a feel for us eyes inside.
Pretty cool, right? We've made all that out of one single vocal layer. And so you want to just kind of mix these accordingly. And you've also got a really nice control here with the throat link. So this is, I think, taking the same technology from their Throat Evo. So you can kind of change the sound of the formant or the throat. So let's just see how that works. Let's pick maybe this one.
Many times do we have to fight before we finally say goodbye? I heard a feel for us eyes inside.
So you can adjust that. You can hear the difference. You're just adjusting that format.
Many times do we have to fight before we find.
So let's pan these a little bit.
Many times do we have to fight before we finally say goodbye? I heard a feel for us eyes inside.
I'm going to leave this one dead center. We're going to do something cool with the choir mode for that.
Many times do we have to fight before we finally say goodbye? I heard a feel for us eyes inside.
And then I'll leave the center channel. Excuse me, the low channel at the center. So then let's see what else. We got a little naturalized control. I'm going to leave that pitch variation. I'm going to turn that down just a bit.
Many times do we have to fight before we finally say goodbye? I heard a feel for us eyes.
The timing variation, I'm going to turn that down too because I want this to be really tight. I don't want it to necessarily be loose in terms of the way it stacks the harmonies.
Many times do we have to fight before we finally say goodbye?
We're going to send this to the choir section. So I'm going to hit voice 2. And then we've got a control down here for the choir size. So we can do 2 voices for a 16. We've got vibrato, the pitch, and then the timing of it. So, and then we have a stereo spread. So I'm going to turn that down for now. We're going to do 4 voices.
Many times do we have to fight?
And I'm going to turn the timing down because, again, we want it to be pretty tight. Let's try 8. So it sounds kind of funny just by itself, but again, just bear with me here. Once we get it all done and layered and mixed, it's going to sound a lot more natural. So now let's do some stereo spreading. All right, so now let's bring that in with the rest of them.
Many times do we have to fight before we finally say goodbye? I heard a feel for us eyes inside. How many times do we have to fight before we finally say goodbye? I heard a feel for us eyes inside. How many times do we have to stay before we stop and just walk away? Don't know how much more that I can take. Think it's just too late.
All right, y'all. So a very, very cool plugin. A lot of different possibilities here. Again, we can use one single take and create all kinds of different harmonies and pitch intervals to lay underneath. If you have any questions about using this tool for your vocals and creating harmonies, feel free to leave a comment below. If you learned anything in the video, please like and subscribe.
It's all up, twisted off the memories, trying to find a follow-up, but it ain't coming naturally. And I just tend to shift the thoughts about how you and I connect so easily. Can I tell you how I feel? Can we have this real conversation?